Welcome back to Minecraft Adventures. Actually, I should say we are back. JT's in the chat. He's not in the game. I just sent him a link to DRM Wikipedia thingy. And DRM actually stands for Digital Rights Management. And it is absolutely horrible and needs to be removed from games completely, like what CD Projekt Red has done with Witcher 2.
Much like prices on DLCs.
It's stupid.
Only in certain ways, DRM is beneficial in certain other ways, except it doesn't work in games.
It's horrible for games. It slows them down. It makes it so people basically lose the money they put into buying the game, like more than they normally would, because then sometimes if there's like install restrictions and stuff, that means they eventually have to go and buy the game again. Or they'll just freaking not get the game and they'll miss out on some games, and it's just retarded that people do that. I hate it. It needs to die and be removed from all gaming stuff. And so far, the only people I know that completely stopped using it or aren't using it or something is CD Projekt Red, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And they are so cool that not only did they remove the DRM, but all the DLC they get for Witcher 2, and I guess any game they come out with, really. I'm not sure if that's completely true, but I know at least Witcher and Witcher 2, the DLC for that was free. Like, completely free. And
now, that DLC I can get behind.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And not only is it free, but it adds like 10 hours to Witcher 2, a crapload of stuff like the freaking game editor and stuff on the first Witcher. It's amazing how much extra time is added from that free DLC. Like huge, like those huge expansions from like the past and stuff. That's basically the type of DLC they have. And it's free.
Yeah, that DLC I can get behind.
Yeah.
And the stuff you pay for probably doesn't have the same big thing of the game that you should get for the money.
I know, I brought DLCs for games.
Well, and like, what you call it? What am I gonna say? Damn it. Oh, the Xbox 360 version of Witcher 2, it doesn't have any DLC because, the version actually has all the DLC on disc. So, all the DLC for Witcher 2, instead of making it so they had to sell it for money on the Xbox Live Marketplace stuff, they put it on the disc and made it so you buy the game, you get all the DLC free. And it's awesome.
Indubitably.
Yeah. But yeah, DRM is crap. Like, Diablo 3's DRM, you have to be logged in at all times, pretty much. I think even Assassin's Creed Brotherhood has that same all-the-time logged-in thing, because this is not to close something that I have to log in with, and it's annoying, I hate it, and yeah.
Did you know games consoles have DRM built into every single game that they ever sell?
What?
It's weird, isn't it?
What?
No,
What was that? I
don't.
missed that. What'd you say?
All console
Otherwise,
games
rentals
have
wouldn't
DRM.
work.
Rentals work, but all Xbox 360s have DRM on them, which is why
Oh, it's a
you
good thing I
can't
don't have
have
an
a
Xbox
mod
360.
chip. Which is why you can't have a mod chip connected to Xbox Live. You have to be disconnected
Oh,
at all
that's
times.
the console. That's the console, and
Yeah,
the network.
console, but the games also have it kind of in. But
Yeah,
it's
back
mainly
phone.
built into the games.
Well, that's mostly the network, not just the game. It's mostly the network.
It's like the next generation of Xbox will not allow, or apparently is rumored to not allow second-hand games to be played on it.
Yeah, but that's just rumors. I don't think they're going to be doing anything stupid.
That's not stupid. I completely 100% agree with it. They should get rid of it. They don't need used games.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, those used games help them with sales, not hurt.
No, it doesn't. It hurts them. They
No, it
gain
helps
nothing
them.
from it. They gain nothing
No.
from it.
Okay, imagine this. If you're gonna think about getting a game, you don't know if you're gonna like it or anything, what you do is you go and you look up videos and stuff for it, but sometimes those videos don't help. So what do you do instead if you don't really want to go wasting your money on it and you're still unsure if you're gonna like it or not? You rent it.
Yeah, you rent it.
Then if you like that game after you rent it, then you go out and buy it.
Yeah, that's got nothing
See?
to do with used
So,
games.
Rentals are used games.
Yeah, but they will still work. They'll probably, well, yeah, they won't
No,
still work.
they won't work at all. That'll kill off rentals.
No, well, they will.
Yeah,
They
well-
will probably figure out a way of making it work because
No.
rentals are not used games.
Yeah, they are. Rentals
over
are
here, they're not.
regular. Over here, they're regular used games. They're the
Over
full
here,
game.
they're not.
They're-
Yeah, over here they
they're
are. They
nothing
like
special.
get them like when on the release date they get the brand new version is, and then just basically rent it out for money, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not some special version of the game. It's the actual full thing. So, yeah.
I still think they should get rid of it. No need
I
for you
don't.
selling new used games. You
I
don't need
don't-
a used game market.
Well, the used game market is helpful because there's people without the money capable of buying stuff at full price, brand new and stuff. I was one of those people growing up. We weren't able to really get a lot of new games and everything, and one of the biggest reasons why I absolutely hate getting used games now is because of the fact that it makes me feel really insignificant, really poor, and I don't like getting used stuff because I grew up that way. I grew up in a family that actually went through bankruptcy. We weren't able to afford stuff a whole lot. We had to pretty much just give up a lot of stuff. We did not have a lot of money. We weren't able to afford the new games. We had to get used stuff, and we weren't really able to afford anything if it was new. If it was on sale or something, it was like years old or something, and it cost like $10, then yeah, sure, might be able to get that once in a while, but other than that, we had to stick to used stuff, and that was like the only way we were able to get games. And if it wasn't for those games, there would be a lot more trouble in the house and stuff because people would be bored. The parents would get annoyed and everything from those kids being bored. A lot of things can be resolved simply by having the ability to go and buy those simple games, because in today's society, it's not like you can go wandering around outside and everything. You do a lot of stuff. Your parents aren't around you all the time. You're probably being babysat by people. You're dealing with a lot of issues in society with money and all that stuff. And with the ability to just get some stuff nice and cheap, it solves a lot of problems because it just gives people something to do. And removing the ability to have rentals and used games and everything, it's going to really hurt people.
But they're not getting rid of rentals. You can get rentals without having used games. It's
But
so
rentals
easy.
are used games. That's the problem.
Then you can rent out a code that you activate on an Xbox 360, and you
Okay,
get that
yeah, you
game
could
for
do
like
that.
24 hours or something like that.
You could do that, yeah, sure, but I highly doubt they're going to be smart enough to come up with a system like that. People in the game industry now are more greedy than they are out for trying to figure out a way to resolve problems without hurting everyone.
Yeah, well, they go for the majority of people. The majority of people
they
go out
don't.
and buy a game and don't
The
rent
majority of people say no DRM, but the game industry says more DRM, pack it through, more.
it. That's not entirely true.
I think so. Every computer game pretty much has DRM. Steam. All Steam is a fancy type of DRM.
Yeah, and people don't complain about the DRM on it.
Because
What the hell?
Steam is done in a way, Steam is also, like Valve is really awesome. Steam is done in such a way that it hides the DRM and it is very, very lightweight. It's not like cramming it full. They like integrate it in with the game really well and make it so it doesn't slow it down a whole lot. Make it so it has as little impact as possible. And some games where you buy them on Steam versus retail copy, due to that DRM change, that difference, they may actually even run better through Steam than they do with the retail copy.
I know I've never had a problem with a retail game running less than a Steam game.
I haven't had a thing to do that, like test or anything, but I've actually seen people complaining about stuff, and people do say that it does work like that and everything. So, on top of that, though, the whole idea that they're going to just absolutely say, "Oh, we're going to do this smart idea, and everyone's going to love us for it and stuff. We're going to be the next Valve or the next big awesome people of gaming industry." And make all these smart choices where we actually care about our gamers and stuff, our fans. It's highly unlikely that they'll do that.
My problem with Steam is it has to run to play the game, which can sometimes take ages when you just want to get into the game. That's what pees me off most about it. It's like to play like Skyrim. I installed it. And I expect, right, I've installed it, and I expect like a traditional game, you install it and you can play it straight away. Oh no, you install it, you have to download updates if they're available, then you have to wait for Steam to...
Well, you don't have to download updates.
Well,
you can turn off automatic.
Game, you have to do the initial first run.
Yeah, the initial first run is basically finishing... That's the installation.
That should be installed with the game, not after the game's installed.
No. Sometimes people... Like, when you download the game, you're downloading it. You're not installing it at that time.
No, I'm on about retail games. Well, actually, online games that you buy from Steam also have that problem, which is why I don't really buy the games.
Well, if you buy the game from Steam, you download it, then...
Return.
Yeah, if you buy the game from Steam, then you download it. Then when you first try to run it, it's actually installed and everything.
Yeah, and all of like the DirectX... Why does it check the DirectX version? All Windows come with DirectX. It doesn't have to do it.
They all come. They all have updates.
It's always slightly different. It has to check the DirectX version. Games on computer are ranging DirectX versions now from 9, 10, and 11. It has to check which version your graphics card can handle and make sure it gets the appropriate coding for that specific DirectX hardware, firmware, whatever that your graphics card can handle.
But it doesn't do that. It installs the DirectX, which is one of the things that people have been complaining about on it.
Yeah, why does it install it when my computer already has the freaking thing?
Exactly. Why don't it check the pre-configured things to make sure it's installed and just run the game, not just say, right, we're still installing it, even though you already have it.
The installer can also be absolutely sure nothing is corrupt. See?
What?
So if you run the installer for DirectX installer and stuff when the game's installing, it's adding extra files and stuff just in case people have edited the thing. The game engine and stuff, they added their own stuff to it or whatever. It can add all the stuff to make sure the game runs perfectly fine. Then, on top of that, if there's any corrupt DirectX files, it can replace them and fix them.
And yet a non-Steam game can do that while you're actually installing the actual game. Steam, for some reason, can't do that.
No, well, what Steam does is it doesn't actually install it until it doesn't actually install the game completely until you're going through the process of trying to play it for the first time. And that actually makes sense because some people will download a game and then just want to go and turn the computer off once it's downloaded because they're letting it download when they're asleep. They don't want to go through and have to sit at their computer and watch for everything to actually install and click all the stuff like, okay, next, install here, do this stuff here. They don't want to go through doing all that huge process stuff because they're trying to go to sleep when the game is like some 10 gig download or something and they have a slow internet connection. So that install before first play is actually a smart thing.
No, it's not. It's a dumb thing.
It's a smart thing. Because that way... Yes, it is. Because that way people with a slow internet can go ahead and download the game without sitting at their computer for the freaking hours it takes to download the game for a slow internet. They can just click download, click to make their computer go to sleep or turn off when the download is finished, and they can just go to bed and it'll finish while they're sleeping. instead of staying up, leaving their computer on or something, then dealing with it, and then they get up and dealing with a potential problem for some gaming computers, possibly overheating if something happens wrong, or any sort of issue, like anyone who overclocks or something, if they don't want to leave it on at night because they're worried about an overheating issue where they're monitoring it constantly during the day and stuff.
Sean, I don't like that because it takes away my excuse for staying up.
That's a stupid thing. That's a stupid reason. But no, it's actually a really smart idea to make it so people can download it and not be required to install it right away. They just install whenever.
It's being installed with the game installation. Why not just do that instead of install it after? It's like when I install like Diablo, it installed the game within like 5 minutes. And then it didn't check for DirectX because it knew it was already there, and it actually checked it during the installation of the actual game.
Yeah, but
old
on
games
Steam,
did that. New Steam games don't do that. It's just stupid.
The installation process of Steam, where it's like the setup for the first time play, that's the installation process of the game. Other than that, it's just downloaded. It's not available to play.
That is not the installation process of the game.
It's the finished installation stuff, yeah.
It's getting the game ready to actually be played, so it installs like DirectX. The installation of the game comes right as it's actually being downloaded. It actually installs as it being downloaded at the same time.
No, the actual installation, if you have... Okay, that is the full installation. The download is a different part. The download is like putting all this stuff on your computer and getting it ready. The difference between a disk and Steam is a disk, you download it, or you like the installation process, it has to put it on your hard drive at the same time that it's installing it. But Steam does it a little different, that way you can leave it there while it's downloading, because that download's going to take a lot longer than it does to take it off of a disk over some internet connection. So instead of installing the entire thing, instead of installing the entire thing all at once with that download, you just download that information, which would normally be a part of the installation process if it were on a retail disk.
But it downloads and it doesn't. Well, it doesn't actually install it. It just downloads downloads the files into a location, and that's it.
Yeah, it downloads it, and it doesn't install until you go to run it. Then it installs it.
It doesn't install it when you go to run it. It's just got the files there.
No, okay. It's like if you put all these files and stuff on a computer, it's not necessarily installed. It's just on the computer. You have to then go ahead and install it. So that's what Steam does, is it downloads all those files, it gets them all on the computer, and then when you first try to run it the first time, it then goes through the installation process. And that process is so much faster and shorter and stuff, because it already has all the information on the computer, which normally would require extra time to get on the computer because of the fact that it's on a disk or something. So it's a slightly different process, because it has to go and just install the information it's already got on the hard drive of the computer, rather than go in and trying to get the information off of a disk and put it on the computer and installing it at the same time. So it makes it so people can actually download this information before actually installing it, and then just let themselves go to sleep while it's downloading and doing part. Then all they have to do is deal with a short, quick installation process when they get up or something, when they first try using the game.
I won't call it a short installation thing.
It's short.
It's not short.
It's short for me.
Hey.
I can install Grand Theft Auto 4 faster than the Steam DirectX crap.
Steam has never taken, like for me, In any game I've installed on Steam, like through Steam or anything, that first initial startup installation process has really never taken that long. And I've had games on this computer, actually, retail disc games on this computer that have taken like 30 minutes just to get done, versus the whole Steam stuff.
Discs have always been faster for me. Okay, I've got duplicate items in my chest and inventory here.
And JT was trying to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't actually install or download that DirectX thing. It just says that, and then it realizes, oh wait, you already have it, never mind. For me, anyway.
Yeah, it should have a file somewhere that Steam checks and says, alright, you've already got it, we don't have to do anything, and that's it.
It'll still say it's installing it. It'll still probably say it's installing it, though, but the main reason, they always have to check DirectX version for compatibility and just grab system information and everything, and make absolutely sure none of the DirectX files are corrupt. Because if they're corrupt, then not only can Windows have a problem, but the game itself will not run properly, and they'll have a lot of problems, and the people will complain to the developers and stuff, and say, hey, why isn't this game working? I want my money back, and all that stuff, even though it's really not the developer's fault the game isn't working. So the reinstallation process, or whatever process of DirectX installation onto the computer, even though it already has DirectX, is a way of making absolutely sure those files aren't corrupt or ruined in some way that will prevent the game from working, or prevent Windows from working properly, or prevent the game from causing the operating system to crash. It's like, what's it called? Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, that thing.
Pretty much.
Okay, so I'm just reading a Twitter feed from a webcomic guy that I follow. And this is what it was said to him. There's an Avengers comic now? Rolls eyes, that was fast. And he says, I am now the mayor of Facepalmville. Thinking the Avengers comic came out in, like, the 60s or something.
That's funny. Yeah, I bet a lot of people are probably like that, too. Like, anyone who didn't grow up with that stuff, too. Even a lot of people of our generation are probably like that, too. It's like, it's a movie! No, it started as a comic! Oh, really? Yeah! Yeah, anyways, it's like the end of this episode. I'm finally getting this tree made! Awesomeness and stuff! Even though it still looks a little small, it's gonna be changed a lot, don't worry. On the next episode, I'll be working on this tree. Not sure what everyone else is gonna be doing. JT's not actually in the world here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only FC is, and me. FC's right down there, you can sort of see him. Like, right in the middle of my crosshairs. Yay! And JT's just in the chat. So no clue what's gonna happen on the next episode other than me working on this tree. But we will see you guys then. FC's all silent too, for some reason.
Indeed.
Bye-bye!